Gas prices across the globe are rising as Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues. On Wednesday, the national average for a gallon of regular gas in the U.S. had reached $3.65. That's compared to about $3.40 a gallon in February and just $2.73 1 year ago. Energy analysts predict $4 a gallon nationwide will be here within a few weeks, if not sooner. To help offset prices, the 31-member nations of the International Energy Agency agreed Tuesday to release 60 million barrels of oil from their strategic reserves, to send a unified and strong message to global oil markets that there will be no shortfall in supplies, tied to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Here's what you need to know about how the Ukraine crisis and other factors are impacting U.S. gas prices, how high they could go and what the Biden administration can do about it. How high will gas prices go? The national average for gas will almost certainly tick past $4 a gallon this month, Tom Kloza, an energy analyst for the Oil Price Information Service, told CNN. Even at the end of last year, Patrick Dehaan, head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, was forecasting $4 a gallon gas by spring. Prices usually hit their annual peak this time of year, Dehaan told ABC 12, as refineries undergo maintenance before the summer driving season. Kloza predicted that the record for U.S. average gas price minus $4.11 a gallon in 2008 will be broken in the next few months, while Dan Dicker of the Energy Word told Yahoo Finance he expects the national average to climb to $5 a gallon or even higher. Prices on Wednesday already averaged $4.86 a gallon in California and have pushed past the $4 threshold in Oregon, Nevada, Washington and Hawaii, too. Major cities are really feeling it at the pump. In the San Francisco area, regular gas is already about $5 a gallon on average. In Los Angeles it's $4.93, while in Chicago it's $4.07, in New York City the average is $4, and in Miami it's $3.56 a gallon for regular, on average. The cost of gasoline is heavily influenced by the cost of crude oil, which it's refined from. Brent crude, the global benchmark, hit a high of $107.57 per barrel on Tuesday, a price last seen in July 2014, and eventually closed at $104.97 per barrel. The U.S. benchmark, West Texas Intermediate Crude Futures, closed on Monday at $95.72 a barrel. On Tuesday, it rocketed 11.5% during the day to $106.78 per barrel, before ending the session at $103.41. Goldman Sachs has warned that Brent crude is likely to spike to $115 a barrel in March, Bloomberg reported. DTN senior market analyst Troy Vincent told CNET that, in a worst-case scenario, with Russian gas and oil full cut from the global market, crude oil could go up to $130 a barrel, or even higher. U.S. crude reached an all-time high of $147.27 in July 2008, fueled by a strike by Brazilian oil workers and threats to supplies from Nigeria and Iran. At that time, average U.S. prices peaked at $4.11 a gallon. If crude went that high in 2022, Vincent said, $6.50 or even $7 a gallon wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. At that point, though, it would trigger a global recession, he added. People would start limiting their activities to the bare essentials. Does the U.S. get oil from Russia? Russia is one of the world's largest producers of crude and natural gas, providing 10% of the global supply and roughly 40% for the European Union. While the U.S. is the largest producer of crude oil and natural gas, it's also the largest consumer, producing over 18.6 million barrels a day while using over 20.5 million. Last year, the U.S. imported roughly 245 million barrels of crude oil and petroleum from Russia, almost 25% more than in 2020, making it our third largest outside source after Canada and Mexico. In November alone, about 595,000 barrels per day, or roughly 7%, came from Russia. While the West has levied major economic sanctions against Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, only Canada has banned crude oil from the former Soviet Union. Other allies are hesitant to cut off access to the vital resource. On Tuesday, both Republicans and Democrats in Congress called for a ban on Russian oil, but they have different solutions to fill the gap. A GOP-sponsored bill calls for increased drilling in the U.S., while a separate measure from Green New Deal supporter Senator Ed Markey pushes renewables. Our global addiction to oil keeps us locked into dangerous cycles of conflict and corruption. But we can choose a cleaner path to peace, Markey, a Democrat from Massachusetts, said in a statement. What's making gas prices soar? Russia's invasion and the responding escalating series of financial sanctions by the U.S. and its allies have given the global oil market the jitters, AAA spokesperson Andrew Gross said in a statement Monday. Like the U.S. stock market, the oil market responds poorly to volatility. The spike in gas prices is a grim reminder that events on the far side of the globe can have a ripple effect for American consumers, Gross added. But while the crisis in Ukraine is having an immediate impact, Vincent said it's hardly the sole factor. We've had a supply and demand imbalance for a while, and it will remain regardless of whether this conflict goes away, he said. As it has in every industry, the pandemic has caused staffing issues at refineries. And there have been outages, including a fire this week at a Marathon petroleum plant in Louisiana. A colder winter across North America has also led to higher demand for heating oil, and pandemic-driven online shopping has taxed diesel, which fuels all those trucks. Demand for diesel has been well above pre-COVID levels for months, Vincent added. High U.S. e-commerce sales have meant all those shipments need to be delivered to homes. What can the White House do to lower gas prices? President Joe Biden has promised a strategy to blunt gas prices in the face of the Russian incursion, including releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, a deep underground storage complex along the Gulf Coast that holds an estimated 600 million gallons of crude. On Tuesday, the United States and other members of the International Energy Agency agreed to release 60 million barrels of oil from their strategic reserves, with 30 million coming from the U.S. But many experts believe 60 million barrels, equal to about 12 days of Russian crude export, won't make much of a ripple. And the reserves being released are mostly light oil. The U.S. mostly imports a heavier grade of crude from Russia. You can't always just swap out one for another easily, Stuart Glickman, an oil analyst for CFRA Research, told CNBC. There have been calls for the U.S. to further invest in clean energy to wean us off dependence on foreign oil. But that would be a long-term strategy not likely to impact prices in the near future. Some legislators have called for a suspension of federal and state gas taxes, a gas tax holiday, to help lower prices. But economists warn that would have no effect on the oil supply and only encourage consumers to drive more. It's a way for politicians to pretend they are making the situation better, when in fact they are making it worse. Maya McGuinness, president of the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, wrote in an op-ed in The Hill last week. How can consumers save at the gas station? There's not much we can do to change the price of gas, but drivers can cut down on unessential trips and shop around for the best price. Even crossing state lines if it's not inconvenient. Apps like Gas Guru scan for the best gas prices in your region. Others, like FuelLog, track your car's gas mileage and can help determine if it is getting decent fuel economy. In addition, many gas station chains have loyalty programs, and credit cards have rewards programs that give cash back for gas purchases. DTN's Vincent advises against hoarding gas or other extreme measures but encourages budgeting more for gas. High energy prices have been a major contributor to inflation for a while, he said, and won't be going away immediately. When the cost of crude rises, prices at the pump tend to reflect it very quickly, he said.